if you're prepping for a tournament, one more time, talk to the TO. Don't go blind. And finally, to end out this segment, what is my worst matchup to face? That's it's an interesting question. It's going to be AdMech. A lot of times, for me, regardless of the faction, AdMech is just rough because they have good melee, they have great shooting, and so getting in, as if I'm playing melee against them, I have to cross a board, getting shot the whole time, say 2 turns doing that, while they are re-rolling ones and stuff with Canticles of the Omnissiah, and that's just deadly. So AdMech has the potential to really cripple your team turn 1 and 2. And a lot of times there's just no recovery from that after things have gone bad. So if things go bad your way in the early game versus AdMech, things go really bad. But that also translates to shooting teams. Because even if you're a great shooting team, against them, they'll pop Canticles and move into cover turn 1. And sure, you might have 1 Auspex or something, but the rest of your team is going to be at a -2 to hit before something like long range. So potentially even -3 to hit. And meanwhile, they're hitting you at full ballistic skill. And their weapons, their plasma is assault 2, whereas a lot of other good weapons are rapid fire 1, something like that. Like you look at guard plasma. And now with the elite subfactions, they can advance and still shoot, with no penalties. So we have all of that on top. And so being -3 to hit or -2 to hit, while they're hitting you at full ballistic skill, with the amount of plasmas and special weapons they can bring, is just really crushing as a shooting team. And especially because they have that tactic where they can pop a second Canticle for another round, so they can actually have two turns of that, where you're at that big disadvantage. So a lot of times it's kind of like, oh, I'm going to try and hide and deny them that Canticle of the rerolling ones, but then next turn they pop it again. And now it's like you're in a 4-round game at a tournament. You got to get something done. So you can't really necessarily just take the hide route, unfortunately. So AdMech are just incredibly brutal a lot of times. They're probably the faction I've played against the most, and they are definitely the faction that I've lost against the most. And I think that with Alex Squires playing them now, what we've needed is people to run them. I've been saying for the longest time, people don't agree with me, but I say AdMech are just amazing, top tier, OP, verging on broken, and people don't see it that way. They say, hey, well, if they're so good, why aren't they destroying tournaments? It's because nobody's run them. People started with them. A lot of the community started with them when the game first started, and they quote unquote graduated onto better things. The plasma caliber thing was such an investment to actually go out and buy all those plasma calibers and stuff. You'd be paying $12 to $16 per caliber to go on eBay and get it, and you needed 5 more or something potentially for a disgusting list. And yeah, so 2 Auspex in a single list, disgusting. So just there's so much pointing to AdMech being the best team. Firmly, I truly mean this when I say it. AdMech is the best team in the game, in my opinion. And hopefully we'll start having some stuff to back that up. Like we just had the LVO prep, the AdMech 1, and the same player has won 3 different, it was SCO prep tournaments with his, and he's not even running the full plasma spam complement. He's running shooty priests and stuff like that. So he's not going full bastard on that, which he could if he wanted to. But he likes his priests, so he's making those work. All right, guys, so that's it for this episode.